Hey everyone, welcome to the webinar. I'm Andy Winnig, and I'm really excited to be on this call today. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you haven't yet, go ahead and post in the chat box where you're from and what you're most grateful for today. I'm super grateful for you giving me about 75 minutes of your time to learn something new. This is something I'm extremely passionate about sharing and teaching, and this is probably the most interesting audience for me to teach it to, because just by being on this call today, I can tell you're interested in taking action and growing your business, your career, and your brand. So I'm very excited about this. Again, thank you everyone for signing in. There's lots of people leaving comments in the chat box where you're coming from, so thanks everyone for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and get started. And we'll go through this pretty quickly, a lot of these slides, because I have a lot of different slides to share. But this is really all about, for me, when people say, well, what does trusted advisor really mean? What does it mean to grow your business through business networking? I'm assuming there are a lot of entrepreneurial types on this webinar right now. So some of you might be business owners, small business owners, freelancers, but I'm assuming a lot of entrepreneurial or entrepreneurial-minded individuals. And what I really teach is how to get other people calling you with legitimate leads. So how do you use business networking to develop those relationships and that trust so other people are promoting your products and services for you? My mission, just to tell you a little about where I'm coming from. It took me about 7 years to learn the skills that I'm sharing with you together. It was 7 years of joining networking groups and attending networking events with very few results. And my mission is that it's not going to take you 7 years to learn this stuff, because business networking is fun. It's fun getting to know people, and it's really fun when you can attract and help more clients. So that's my passion, helping other people learn these skills so they can become a trusted advisor and attract more of the right people into their business network. And that's really been what business networking is about for me. It allows me to reach a larger audience and serve this mission by teaching people how to develop trust and meet people and expand their referral network. So thank you again for joining me today. You've made an awesome choice, and it's a completely free webinar. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did this myself. I went from no sales and no business or business networking experience to growing 2 businesses on the strength of my trusted advisor relationship. I'm an engineer by training, so I had that against me. And I had no business experience, which kind of goes along with being an engineer. I basically figured it all out by my accident, what I'm going to be teaching you now, and I'm very excited. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how you can do this for yourself. In the next couple of weeks, I mean, yes, it takes time to develop your network, and there are things you can do. I'm going to share a formula you can put in place and really start seeing results in about 2 to 3 weeks. Of course, there's some, minute to learn, lifetime to master stuff, but I don't want you to think that you have to wait months to do this, because there are things you can do right now, today, and the faster you take action, the quicker you're going to be able to generate the leads you want, the opportunities you want, and the results that you want to start bringing in leads from business networking right now. And again, it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. I'm going to show you how to do this, how lots of other businesses are doing the exact same thing to bring in lots more clients and profits. So let's go ahead and dive in. If this sounds exciting to you, if this is the kind of information you're interested in, then go ahead and type in the chat box and let me know you're excited about it and that you're in the right place. And this is what you've been looking for. So again, just type whatever you're thinking into the chat box right now. Great, that's a lot of excited people, and I'm glad to know that you're all in the right place. Here are the proven facts. SCORE. Maybe some of you have heard of them. These are retired business executives that mentor small businesses. Do you think they know a thing or two about growing a business? And someone asked them, does SCORE think networking would be effective for growing a small business? And remember, the skills of the trusted advisor are all business networking skills. If you want to develop trust, the best time to start networking was 5 years ago. The second best time is today. And so the SCORE think that networking would be effective for growing a small business? Well, of course. And this is interesting. As long as people get to know you and come to rely on the quality and professionalism. And what do you think people conclude about your quality and professionalism if you aren't prepared to answer the most basic business networking question? Let's turn that around. What do you think people think of someone who can clearly and concisely say what they do? Instant trust, instant stature. That's the first step to becoming a trusted advisor, mastering your elevator pitch. Think about it. People who can help with your success are there at these networking events. And their first impression of your professionalism is your elevator pitch. So what does your elevator pitch say about your quality and professionalism? Dr. Ivan Meisner, founder of BNI. Now, I don't know if anyone on the call is part of a BNI chapter. BNI is funny because they're so successful that everyone hates them, literally. Even some of their most productive members. I'm not kidding. Anyone who's starting a networking group can't wait to tell you how different they are from BNI. But if you're only going to be like BNI in one way, make it the tens of thousands of dollars a month in referrals they pass between their members. Whether you love BNI or hate it, Dr. Ivan Meisner knows a thing or two about networking. And according to Dr. Ivan Meisner, what is the secret to getting more business through business networking? Time, which is interesting because the number one business networking challenge people tell me they have is not enough time. According to Dr. Meisner, people who spend 2 hours a week networking don't get much benefit from networking, but spend 6.5 hours a week networking. That's about 16% of your time if you're only working a 40-hour week. And people who spend 16% of their time generate on average 50% of their business from networking. Now, part of the benefit you get from BNI is learning their approach to elevator pitches, one-on-ones, professional referrals, partnerships, whatever. They have a whole system. What throws people off, what people find confusing and off-putting about BNI is that it's expensive up front, both with time and money, to get into and learn their system before you start seeing the results. As I said, today is about learning a new formula for doing this much more quickly and inexpensively. So what is business networking anyway? It's developing relationships, trusted relationships. And back to Dr. Meisner again, it's about more than showing up and shaking hands. He recommends doing something specific each week that's focused on networking for business growth. And that's what this program is about. Remember, you only need 6.5 hours a week. So what can we do each week to fuel this business growth? Why do we need to learn this? Well, Harvey McKay wrote several books. One of the best is Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And he has a couple of great quotes. The first is, up the proverbial creek, if you've got a network, you've always got a paddle. Isn't that the truth? When you have people who take and return your calls, you can move mountains. His next quote, like any new behavior, the more you practice the skills of networking, the easier it gets. Why is that important? Well, I went to meetup.com the other day. Meetup is in-person networking, and look what I pulled up. Events start at 6 in the morning and go till after 8 at night. Look at these numbers. You've got 30 people. You've got 166, 257 people. That's a lot of people. I mean, get a strong elevator pitch in front of those people, and you will have some leads. Then what? How do you take those leads and develop trust? Okay, I want to share with you a story. We're going to go into the really fun part here, so I'm going to request that before we get into this story, I'm going to request that you put your phone down. You're probably holding it in your hand, so just flip it over, put it aside. I want you to shut down any other screens and blow this up, blow the screen up so it's full screen. We're going to share some very interesting information over the next 60 to 75 minutes. And I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because I've got a lot to share. A lot of slides, a lot of information, and I want to get to as much as I can in a short amount of time. And my request is that you stay on and stay committed until the very end because I want to make sure that I get to all this information. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to give away a bonus to someone. We're in this interactive program, and I want to make sure you get as much out of it as possible. So at the end of the webinar, I'm going to give away a half-hour phone call with me. That's a $275 value with me just to put in your great comments about this material. So at the end of this program, I'll pick the person who was the most involved and had the best comments. So it's not just about posting once, and it's not about posting the weather or what you had for lunch or me tooing other people's comments. It's about mastering the skills of the trusted advisor, using these techniques and templates and coming up with something that's authentically you and will bring you more leads. So what do all great business networking stories start with? I met someone. I met someone who has generated over $2,500 in business for me so far without ever becoming my customer. We'll call this guy Steve because, well, that's his name. He's a Jewish guy like me who, like me, loves a delicatessen named Zoftig. So we sit down and Nate for a one-on-one. And it's a blast talking to this guy. Fun, funny, very personable, fellow entrepreneur like me, owns a couple of businesses. And that's where the one-on-one gets interesting, almost. He's a promotional products guy, just like a lot of folks you may know. When he hears about my second business, he mentions his. He has this product for car dealerships. And my window cleaning business does a lot of work with local car dealerships. Turns out that car dealerships are a great referral for him. So do I send him all my contacts? No, I do nothing. I don't really know this guy yet. I'm not ready to share my best customers with him, so I let it sit. We follow up with each other occasionally over the next several months, using some of the techniques I'll talk about here in a second. Nothing pushy, just checking in and sharing successes in our businesses. Like I said, I like the guy. I don't mind hearing from him. Then it happens. Call it serendipity, but I just call it business networking. Actually, I call it opportunity spotting, but more about that when I get to the content here in a second. So I'm doing a presentation for a networking group, and the owner of one of the car dealerships do a presentation and approach him afterwards. I tell him a little bit about Steve and say, I think it could be a good connection. He agrees, then tells me that he wants to follow up with me. Long story short, this car dealership hires me to coach his sales team and ends up signing up with Steve for massage chairs as well for his service department. And that was an aha moment for me about the power of business networking. I approached someone, this car dealership owner, with something for him, a referral that I thought would benefit him, and it turned into a sale for me. Would I have signed it up if I hadn't approached him that day? I don't think so. But I now look for any excuse to approach people after a presentation. I'm always looking for reasons, not having to do with me, to start talking to people. And that's easier to do when you have a strong business network, when you have the opportunities that flow through a strong business network. So the next time someone tells you that business networking takes time, it's true. It took 9 months to get the opportunity to make this connection because it takes time to develop that trust. Now, I can't guarantee that you get thousands of dollars in business out of every one-on-one, but I'll share with you in a second how quickly you can develop trust when you use these skills we're talking about today. Yes, the faster you take action, the quicker you're going to be able to get the stuff you're already doing, the networking events you're already attending. And I'm super pumped to show you how it works. I'm going to go over the agenda really quickly. Then we're going to keep diving into this information because I'm going to share with you exactly how to do this in a little bit. So I'm going to go into my story a little bit, how I got into becoming a trusted advisor. I know I just shared a story about a powerful result, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how I got into it. Then I'm going to give you examples about 3 or 4 people who are becoming trusted advisors. Most of them are sales managers or solo entrepreneurs. They don't have a lot of time. They're introverts. They need to get as much out as they can out of each event. They're all from different industries. Then we're going to talk about how trusted advisors get results from networking events. So, quick show of hands. How many people expect to get leads out of every event they attend, and how many actually get leads? So just type into the chat box yes, yes, or yes, no, or no, no. So just let me know. Do you expect to get leads? Do you always get leads? Do you expect to get leads, and do you always get leads? Just do yes, no, yes, yes into the chat box. So seeing yes, no, 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 yes, no. Great. So if you have times when you do get leads, that's very cool. So some of you already understand the power of becoming a trusted advisor, and you're already doing extremely well, and that's awesome. So hopefully I can teach you some new stuff so you can develop even more trust and more people and leverage your time even better. So the next part of the agenda, I'm going to be sharing you the 5-step trusted advisor networking system. The 5-step trusted advisor networking system, this is going to be the main content, going over exactly what's involved in the process of becoming a trusted advisor. Okay, there's a lot that goes on becoming a trusted advisor. A lot happens behind the scenes, lots that happens. Choosing the event, putting it in your calendar, printing out directions, or putting it in your GPS, making sure you have business cards, making sure you eat beforehand. And that doesn't include any networking groups you may be a part of, or any chambers of commerce, or BNIs, or groups like that. Then there's the trusted advisor process. Then there's the third part, which is the follow-up process. You can't develop trust instantly, so all that happens later, after the event or the meeting. That's where you develop all your relationships because you never actually close anyone at the event. So you have to have a real solid system for follow-up. So there's really 3 parts to becoming a trusted advisor. I'm going to share with you the middle part, really what skills you want to learn to develop to get that trust effectively so people will take your calls and call you back. We'll be learning that during the webinar. At the end of this training, I'll show you how you can take the whole package. We've got an advanced training for those who are interested in signing up, really on becoming a trusted advisor. So you can take what I give you now and apply it, or you can get the whole thing with the advanced training. Then we're going to be talking about that, how to really take it to the next level. I'm going to do a Q&A at the end for about 15 minutes. We'll go over questions, any other questions that I haven't answered on the webinar. You can always ask me by email later, but I'll answer as many questions as I can while we're live here. Then we'll do the bonus giveaway. Remember, I'm going to give someone a free half-hour coaching call with me. Whoever interacts the best through the chat box. So take good notes, participate in the chat box. And I'll wait until the very end so we can get the most amount of interaction possible. So keep chatting about the content, about this webinar, because if you only have one chat, you're probably not going to be chosen. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So let's go ahead and get started. Are you ready? So the first story about the agenda, a little about me. I'm going to fly through this pretty quickly, because I want to get to this content here in a second. So for those that don't know me, I want to talk about this for a quick second. A little bit about me. Back in 2001, I was living the dream. I was being paid 6 figures a year with plenty of stock options at a web startup called Informio. I was being paid to develop highly reliable telephony software systems that could handle thousands of simultaneous callers in every major city across the country. I was on the fast track to being a VP of engineering when one day, 14 years ago, it all came crumbling down, literally. 2 planes flew into the Twin Towers in New York. IT spending dried up. Our venture capitalists pulled back our funding. And on January 1st, 2002, I was unemployed for the first time in my 15-year computer career. There were no computer jobs, and I had a very strong motivation for finding a way to make money. I did not want to move back in with my parents. So I started looking for a new career. Long story short, I bought in a franchise called Fish Window Cleaning. This is me, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in May of 2002 when I start my window cleaning business. And I spent the next year and a half doing everything, cleaning, selling, hiring, payroll, collections. I was the original man with many hats. And one day, I met a guy named Tom Vance. Tom was a membership director at the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce the day I walked in to sell them window cleaning. I walked out with a chamber membership and a new customer. And as I cleaned the chamber windows that first time, Tom approached me about a new idea he had to start up networking groups under the umbrella of the chamber. I spent the next 3 years working closely with Tom on his networking groups, coming up with ideas, trying them out, keeping what worked, mastering the whole process. The process of developing relationships that lead to sales. I was in a bunch of other groups as well, meeting people, practicing my skills, getting better at developing trust. And one day, this is back in 2005, I introduced the guy who was running my window cleaning business for me to my networking group, and then started to network for my own business, Improv Andy. Now, I know that networking works, but the thing is, it's easy to overlook just how well it's working. I realized one day the group of people I met 11 years ago through Tom Vance accounted for over $75,000 a year in sales for my window cleaning business. Now, I'm not saying that networking is the only reason that my business is going to be over $750,000 in revenue this year, but it's so much easier to close those sales. And here's the real kicker. Earlier this year, I got a call from a woman I met over 3 years ago. She joined a new networking group and wanted me to come speak to her group. There was no one else in the running. I named my price and did the job, and that job led to another job and another and another and another. That's trusted advisor selling. People call you at the right time for them. It's a fun way to grow a business. And I realized that other people are prospecting for me. I don't have to make all the contact. People bring leads to me, and those are the easiest leads to close. So I'm an engineer turned entrepreneur. I don't clean windows anymore. I spend 5 to 7 hours a week at my window cleaning business, and the rest of the time I coach other business owners and give presentations, develop training programs. I've been a finalist for Small Business of the Year and Franchisee of the Year. I've won sales awards and inspiration awards. I've been on the radio and TV. I've even hosted a couple of shows. But here's the thing I'm most excited about, most passionate about, what becoming a trusted advisor has done for me. It allows me the freedom to do what I want. So for me, I want to be able to chase my dreams and live them, not just talk about them. I want to be able to pursue them on a daily basis and do what fills me up energetically. I spent 3 full weeks at the beach with my family this last summer, which doesn't include our Disney World vacation, that's coming up in April, our trip to Storyland that we do every fall. And I play basketball in a local league, and I go downhill skiing as often as I can. And this fills me up, right? Getting the opportunity to know that I have my business in place, that it's running in the background, and I have passive income coming in. And networking is supporting that. That I can play the piano and travel and do what I want with my family. It's a very powerful experience and feeling for me to be able to do that. And I don't know if anyone else feels this way, that they want to, run their business not 15 to 20 hours a day, work really hard, but set up the systems and leverage the tools that support saving you time. And that's really what networking has done for me. Again, kind of stumbled into it by accident. Someone gave me an opportunity to join a group, and I took it and I ran with it. And it allows me to do everything else that I want to do. I feel so blessed and so grateful every day. I don't take any of this for granted. So enough about my story. Probably went on a little bit too long there. But I wanted to give people a little example of who I am and what I've created so that you know that I'm a guy with no business or sales experience. I'm an introvert. I got laid off. If I can do this stuff and chase my dreams at the same time, travel the world, then everyone here who's extremely intelligent, has the experience, got the drive as well, I know you can do this. I know you can do this equally well, if not better. Okay. Just got to have the right system and just have to take the right action. So it's my goal to share with you the system right now. And then you got to be committed to taking the action. Because if you just think about it, it's not going to happen. So here's the thing about networking. I took a couple of screenshots from emails over the past couple of days. And there's a meetup, Society of Professional Consultants. There's an artist thing going on. There's a pitch party. There's something going on. Cambridge Chamber of Commerce has always stuff going on. These are all sent within a few days, right? I get networking requests constantly, and some of you may as well. So can anyone tell me, why are so many people networking? Let's just get an idea. Why are there so many networking events? Go ahead and leave it in the chat box right now. Why are there so many networking events? What do people think? People like meeting other people? Yep. Because they work? Yep. Yep. Because it's a chance to get out and get out of your office? Yep. All those things. They work. That's right. This is why people continue to do them. There's a lot of competition out there. Yeah. Even people who aren't very good at it. And I just get frustrated when I see people not being successful. Because with just a little tweaking, business networking can bring you a lot of qualified leads. I'm going to share some key studies with you, and just the case studies. People have been networking. They were doing okay. But now that they've cleaned up their elevator pitch, they have more leads than they can handle. It works. And that's why it's a perfect time to jump in and start networking effectively right now. I'm not talking about 6 months down the road. I'm talking like the next networking event you're planning to attend in a few days. You know the one I mean. Go ahead and apply what you're learning from today. It works, and it generates profits. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. And when you know what you're doing, it works and it's fun. Okay. I'm going to share with you 3 case studies of average, ordinary people who are creating some really cool results with business networking. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, and I want to get to the content here in a second. So first we'll talk about Jack. Jack's a buddy of mine who I met years and years ago through a bunch of different networking connections. His dad is a master relationship builder using a Rolodex. Remember that physical thing full of paper that sits on people's desks? So Jack has all this sales experience, but his networking results weren't that great. I finally convinced him to sit down with me for my 2-hour elevator pitch complete coaching program. He tried out his new pitch later that week, and here's what he had to say. I gave my new 30-second elevator pitch at a networking event the other night, and 2 people approached me afterwards to invite me to do a presentation for their company. Thanks for your help. That's where the conversation starts. That's the value of the elevator pitch, to start building up that relationship. Okay, let's talk about and. And's one of the most difficult to differentiate industries, website design. I mean, how many people are there like this? So she took me up on a coaching offer from one of my keynote speeches, worked out a new pitch for it. This is really exciting because one of the top questions I get is, where do I find better events? And Ann proved that there are no bad events, just bad elevator pitches. Here's what she had to say. I was at a networking event the other night. It wasn't a great event, but I was sitting next to a business coach who now wants to meet with me to learn how I can help her clients. Then I was talking to someone in the hall who knows someone who's a perfect referral for me. It works. Then there's Craig. Craig is an even tougher industry, insurance. I mean, how many of these people do you meet every day? He's been around for a while and been very successful, which meant I was even more surprised when he told me the benefits he got from his new pitch. In my 31 years in business, I've had maybe 2 people ask a clarifying question after hearing my old elevator pitch. Since working with you, I've tripled that number in less than a week. Here's a guy who's networking all the time, never started any conversations, no idea that he was supposed to be starting conversations, no idea that that's the whole point of networking. Okay, now, Liz. Liz is probably my favorite story because Liz, a shy, introverted scientist, no business guy, has learned to apply these 5 skills. In under 2 years, she went from 0 contacts to a strong referral network that brings her investors, mentors, career opportunities, employees, pretty much anything and everything she needs to be successful. Here's how she tells it. I was terrified of networking. As an introvert, I found it difficult to enter a room full of strangers and break into conversation. I struggled to find anything interesting to say. She continues. Now I embrace networking in a completely different way. My focus shifted, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you learn these 5 skills. You take on a whole new mindset. Back to Liz. My focus shifted away from selling and towards getting to know people. I'm amazed at how much more relaxed and open I am, how much more natural the conversations are, and how I actually look forward to networking events. Look at that. She changed the way she thinks about it, and now as an introvert, she looks forward to networking events. Why? I found that I was creating a stronger network of colleagues who were eager to reciprocate when the opportunity presented itself. Over the last few months, I've been amazed by how many opportunities have opened up for me as a result. This is the holy grail of networking. You pick up the phone and call people. Liz did that for a biotech startup she was consulting for. They were looking for money, so she started calling VC people she knew and lined up 4 appointments immediately. 8 months earlier, that would have been an impossible task for her. But now, imagine having that kind of security, being able to pick up the phone and find money, new clients, investors, or jobs. So does anyone here, leave a comment in the chat box. Would anyone here like to be one of these success stories in the future? Start expanding your network so that opportunities start falling into your lap. You can just pick up the phone and find a new client or job or career. If you're interested in that type of game, that type of business, and being a success story that I can feature in the future, go ahead and type in the chat box if you would. Great. So I see a lot of stuff coming in. People are excited. Yes, of course. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. Good. Good, good, good. Yes, so yes. Interested? Yes, of course. From Jill. Thanks. Great. Yep, so how do you develop trust? I talked about that in the advanced training. Anthony. Oh, yeah, boom, so it's Anthony. Emily. I like her. I'm also an introvert. Great. Yep. Yep, she's a great story. So hopefully you're taking notes and getting ready to enter it in the chat box because we're coming to that part of the program where I give that away. So let's give away to the next point in the agenda that I promised you, which is how trusted advisors get leads from business networking events. So here's the formula. Hopefully you're taking lots of notes. This is the really fun part. This is the cool, fun part about networking. You can really start to gauge how many sales you're going to do because you know the averages and the numbers. So I'm going to give you the averages. If you already have events to attend, and I'm assuming that you have some events that you attend, and again, this is kind of based on averages, so don't say, well, when you go to your first event that it should definitely what will happen, but this is what I've seen happen for a lot of people around these averages. Some are a little better, some are a little worse, but these are about the average. So let's assume you're going to an event with 40 people. You might have 15 people, it might be 150 people, but I'm just going to say it has 40. When your elevator pitch has a strong call to action, something we'll talk about more in the advanced training, you can expect about 7% of people to approach you with a legitimate lead. That's 3 people who are prospects. Also, in the advanced training, I show you how to take 3 non-prospects to follow with as well. When you have a one-on-one with them, you can expect between two of them, you'll get 3 more prospects to talk to. So that's 6 prospects total. And the standard sales average is that you close 16.7% of your prospects. So then ask yourself, what is the price of your product? $500? When you use the skills, you learn to make a sale at each event. It probably won't be that week, and it probably won't be to someone who's at that event. That's someone who knew someone who knew someone who knew someone. So the really interesting question is, what's the lifetime value of that customer? They'll buy other products and services. They'll refer you to other clients. Is their value $10,000, $100,000, more? So it's pretty cool. You can kind of figure out the math of how many events you attend and how many people are at each one, and that's kind of like the fun part, figuring out, okay, cool. Then I just need to find the right events, which again, we teach in the advanced training. How do you create more opportunities to talk to people? You become a better networker and create more value and support people in solving their problems so they have a solution to their problem. And that can be in the form of a service or a product or coaching, a mobile app. It's someone else you can introduce them to, whatever it may be. Once you have leads, you're in your wheelhouse, right? I mean, if someone says they're interested in your stuff, let's talk about it. You'll close them more than 1 of 6 of those. I hope so anyway. I mean, that's the great part about business and networking. Developing the relationships takes time. But the person you meet today may close in a month or 3 or 9, which is why it's so important to follow the system and keep meeting people. Now let's get to the next step of the presentation. It's a lot of good, juicy stuff here. Make sure you're taking a lot of notes. This is the 5-step trusted advisor networking system. All right, this is it. This is the good stuff. So I'm going to give you the formula right now. I really urge you to take down notes on this and type things into the chat box because I'm going to kind of go through it quickly. I'm going to take a quick sip of water because I'm going to fly right through this, okay? Okay, are you ready? For the formula, the 5 skills apply to any time you're at a networking event and developing any kind of business relationship. The skills flow naturally together to show you as trustworthy and show who else you can trust. Those skills are the elevator pitch, follow-up, one-on-ones, professional referrals, and opportunity spotting. Let's start with the elevator pitch. Most people think that their elevator pitch is about proving their expertise. They're wrong. The elevator pitch is for starting conversations, and there are 2 ways to start a conversation. You can talk to one person at a time. I call this a conversational elevator pitch, or introducing yourself to a crowd. This is what people usually mean when they talk about the 30-second elevator pitch. It gets leads when you're in front of a crowd, and the biggest mistake people make is using this formal pitch when they're talking to one person, because responding to any kind of in-person question with any kind of rehearsed speech is, well, awkward at best. You've got to know which pitch to use when. So your answer to what do you do is different from your 30-second elevator pitch. Your 30-second elevator pitch can be up to 4 sentences long. Your answer to what do you do, 7 words, 7 words max. That's a great exercise, actually. You want a better answer to what do you do? Don't think too hard about it. Just write down 7 words. Just type 7 words into the chat box of what you think it should be. When you stand up in front of a crowd, you're one of many giving one pitch after the other. You have to give people a good reason to want to come up afterwards and introduce themselves. You need a strong call to action. Remember, the goal in both cases is to start a conversation, whether you're talking to one person or a whole room full. Success is when people ask you questions or tell you stories. Remember Frank, 2 questions in 31 years? Now he gets 6 questions a week. Now he gets it. Now he's starting conversations. The next skill, follow-up. Now, if you're concerned that you're being annoying when you follow up, you probably are, for one very simple reason. You're following up about you. Have you read my proposal? Have you looked through your list of contact people who need my services? Me. It's annoying. And so the key to follow-up is to follow up about them. What's about them? I walked into a new business once, but first before that, Jill put something in the chat box. I help marketers get their brand before their client 24/7. That's a great start, Jill, a great start. So thank you for that. Anyone else who has 7 words they want to talk about, it's a great way to think about this. And again, I'll have more on that later in the program. So again, I help marketers get their brand before their client 24/7. That's a great start, Jill, and we'll talk more about what you can do to get that even better. So I walked into a business. She didn't have any money, so she wasn't buying anything. But later that week, I saw her picture in the paper, big picture on her and her new business. I clipped it out and snail mailed it to her, put a stamp on it, sent it to her. So the next year, a year later, I walk into her place again, and she jumps out from behind the counter, recognizes me. She says, you're the one who sent me that article. And she signed up on the spot. I taught one of my clients this technique, and she talked herself out of it. Well, she probably already saw the article. Think about it. If your picture was in the paper, you need copies for your mom, your friends, your kids, your spouse, your done good folder. I mean, really, when do you get tired of getting pictures for yourself in the mail? Clip it, address it, stamp the envelope, and send it. Don't second guess it. You can follow up with people about articles, newsletters, quotes, news releases, as long as it's not written by or about you. It has to be by or about them. Yes, you can send people articles they wrote. You know, you can say, hey, I saw this and thought of you. I hope you think well. So follow-up has to be about them. And when you make it about them, they'll respond in terms of you. I got a great question from Kathleen. How do I continue the conversation to close the business? Get in touch about something about them. That's how you get their attention. That's how you develop trust. Start with something they want to talk about. I had a prospect disappear once. Emails, phone calls, no response. I sent her an article with, you don't seem like much of an introvert, but I thought you'd enjoy this article, an article about networking for introverts. She responded within the hour. I was one of 2 finalists. They were making a decision by the end of the week. Follow up about you. They follow up about you, they won't respond. Follow up about them, they'll respond in terms of you. 2 skills down, elevation follow-up. Here comes the 3rd skill, one-on-ones. Trusted advisors realize that the biggest opportunity at networking events are with non-prospects. That may be the most important thing I'm going to tell you today. If you only get one thing, here it is. The best opportunities at networking events are with non-prospects. I mean, if you run into a prospect, someone with a budget and an immediate urgent problem that you can solve, stop networking right then. Set up a sales meeting for tomorrow or later that afternoon, whatever you can. The sooner the better. But after that event, then go back to networking with other people. You don't want to spend all your time with one prospect when there may be others close by. See, most people are comfortable setting up sales meetings. What do you do with non-prospects? One-on-ones. Sit down for coffee. Get to know them and their business. Let them get to know you. This is the face of business networking. And if you're in a networking group, set up one-on-ones between the meetings. That's when all the magic happens. That's the real work of networking. It's getting to know people. Seeing people for an hour every other week doesn't mean that you know them. You have to sit down and talk to them one-on-one. What do you do once you've had a one-on-one with everyone? Start again. Every 4 to 6 months, you can sit down with people. They have new clients, new products, new relationships. Some of my best opportunities have come from the 6th or 7th or 12th one-on-one. One-on-ones develop trust. And you won't end up you won't end up meeting with everyone you want to. That's fine. If they won't return your call about a one-on-one, they won't respond to requests for help, and they won't follow up with any referrals you send them. So set up one-on-one. Sit down for coffee with the people who respond. This is the most powerful, the least understood skill in all of business networking. Once you get this, you don't even have to master it. Once you get this, you'll see a dramatic jump in your results across all your networking channels. Really, if you take only one thing away from today, reach out to non-prospects and set up a coffee. Even if you're not sure what to talk about, just sit down and talk. And that's becoming a trusted advisor. Okay, 4th skill, professional referrals. What's the worst kind of referral? I gave your name to someone. Truth is, you know this, they won't call, and there's nothing you can do about it. This is not a referral. It's not a professional referral anyway. A professional referral is contacting each person, getting commission for the introduction, then sending a co-introductory email, introducing them and sharing their contact information with each other. People who get co-introductory emails connect over 90% of the time. It's a little more work. That's what makes it work. You just put together an email with little words about each person and how they get in touch with each other. And the advanced training offers exact email scripts for how to do this. And note that the key here is that you talk to both people first before you make the introduction. I had a good friend of mine refer me to somebody that I was actually trying to avoid. So I had to go and do something I didn't really want to do in order to kind of keep the relationships going. But it's no favor to someone to introduce them to someone blind, right? Call them up, make sure that what you're introducing is valuable for them, and then you can take it from there. And so the 5th and final skill, opportunity spotting. My client, Ann, was a good example of this. She went to a bad event and made 2 great connections. Now, by definition, any networking event where you make 2 connections is a good event. She just wasn't seeing the opportunities as opportunities, even the ones that bonked her in the head. As she gets better at this skill, she'll notice more and more opportunities at each event. And a lot of these opportunities come out of one-on-ones. The goal of the one-on-one, it's not to sign them up to a contract with you. It's to be spotting opportunities, see ways you can help them, even if it's not with your services, someone you can introduce them to, or an article you can point them to, or someone you can, there's a lot of stuff you can do. So in the advanced training, I'll talk about in just a second, I'm willing to guarantee that any event you attend, there are opportunities there. They don't look like what you expect. because no sale will close, no angels will sing, nothing will happen except the conversation will start. And that's where the opportunity starts too. So now, I want to ask an important question. So put your pen and paper down. Leave it in front of you. I'm going to ask you to type something into the chat box. So put your pen down. So I know you're probably scribbling lots of notes, and that's great. My question to you is, let's practice what we're learning here. My question to you is, what is the most surprising or valuable thing you just learned? So I love doing webinars to put the fun back in business networking. This is supposed to be fun, folks. I've been in front of over 1,000 people in the past 5 years, in person and on webinars, and over 20,000 people have used my online software to improve their elevator pitch and networking results. This is what I love to do. That's what I've learned. So let's take a closer look at what you've learned. Best referrals may come from non-prospects. Fascinating. Got a great story from Jill about a group that wasn't working. You know what, Jill, that's fine. If you're doing your one-on-ones and you're not getting the connection, that's when you can be confident that you need to find another group, right? That's when it's, if you're meeting all the people, meeting the people, and just not getting results, that's when you can go find another group. A lot of people don't bother doing the one-on-one. We've got, so Vincent said we're going to start the conversation. Great. Those are all great things to learn. Like this is the key. This is the key to all of this stuff. Key to all this stuff. So very, very cool. Now, now what would it be like? One more question for you. What would it be like for you when you're a trusted advisor, when your phone calls get returned, when you can refer your best customers to people, with people who solve your problems, when you're not constantly stressing about how much you are or aren't networking, when new customers are finding you rather than you having to hunt them down? How will you feel, and what will you do with your time? So just really quickly in the chat box, how would you feel and what you would do with your time? Just go ahead and type that into the chat box. So we got a one-on-one. I got a referral after it. Great. That is the key. Like people show up to networking events and think that they're doing everything they need to do, but it's not. It's between the networking events. That's when you actually get to know people. You can't get to know someone at a networking event. You got to go there and get. So again, what will it be like when you're a trusted advisor? People say, I'll have some more time. I get to spend more time with my family. Those are all great things. All great things. I want to go skydiving. Okay, great. That's good. I would like to go skydiving. I don't feel like bungee jumping, but I wouldn't mind skydiving sometime. That would be kind of cool. Okay, so I got an email end of last year. I sent her a referral, and they connected, and I got this email. Just a quick note to thank you. I met with Frank yesterday for lunch in Chestnut Hill, and I found myself saying silently, "Thanks, Andy. Frank is the perfect client for me." And this just warms my heart, right? I love helping other people be successful. And in this case, I got a twofer, because Frank can really use Suzanne's help, and Suzanne is willing to take on new clients. So the best part of being a trusted advisor, you get to help people, right? And they send you emails like this. Absolutely made my week. Top reason I love being a trusted advisor. Okay, now I just wanted to tell me your response. Okay, if you could generate more quality leads with ease and grace, not with stress, how would you feel, and what would you do with your time? Great. So Jill says, I would feel awesome. I get some more time presenting great ideas to them and not worrying about getting people to talk to me. That's a great goal, Jill, right? And that's what I see a lot with business networking, right? That Liz, that client I talked about earlier, she doesn't spend so much time networking anymore. She already knows the people. And that's the funny thing about networking. I mean, the goal of networking is to generate enough inbound referrals that you don't really need to network anymore. Like this. Some of the best networkers, they don't do a whole lot of networking, or the networking they do is just going and hanging out with people that they already know. That's really how it works. That's how it works when you really, really get good at it, when you really, really get good at it. So that's cool things, with your time. I could get this process, I had all my free time, and I was able to go after what I love. I was playing the piano, skiing, writing books, and spending time with doing things that I love. And someone said they need to find the time. And again, what I teach in the advanced training here in a second, I'll tell you about, is how to get better results from what you're already doing, even if you don't think you're networking that much, because there are opportunities that you're not seeing. There are people that you know that are worth getting to know better. And the advanced training takes you step by step how to find them and develop that trust. So it's time to move on to the next part of the agenda, accelerating becoming a trusted advisor. I'm very excited to share this with you. It's something I've been very excited developing, creating to help with introducing. We're becoming a trusted advisor, and this formula on how to do it all yourself. So I'm really excited to introduce Stop Selling and Start Networking. I love this program because it helps so many people, like I've shared with you today, meet more people, expand their referral network, and get better leads and make lots more sales. So stop selling, start networking. I want to tell you exactly what's included in this advanced training and how you can take action on getting it right now. It's a number of live webinars over the next several months, plus full access to our members area, where you get access right away when you invest and get signed up. So this is just an overview of the 5 skills, the 5 skills that we teach in all our business networking clients. It's the 5 skills I just taught to you, and it's the 5 skills that I teach and teach and teach. And this is a screenshot of everything that's included, all 8 webinars plus available to you live, and then you have full access in the library. I want to tell you the importance of each one of these really quickly. We'll go over each one in a second. On each call, I ask very detailed questions. For each module, you've got to be taking notes on how you use the techniques for each module, and you've got to fill them out as you go through the training, because that's how you'll know what to say and do in any networking situation. That's how you know whether an event was good or bad. That's how you spot the opportunities. I'm going to share with you what that means in just a second. So training module number 1 is all about the elevator pitch, specifically the 30-second elevator pitch. This is really the kicker, the way to engage an entire room full of people all at once. Introducing yourself to a room full of people is the fastest way to attract leads, as long as you're saying the right thing. So in this module, I teach you how to market yourself effectively to a room full of people. Whether you attend chamber events or BNI meetings or meetup luncheons, I show you how to do it. If you've been using an elevator pitch for years, we'll show you how to make it even more productive. And Jill, that's true. You know, I don't know anything about your elevator pitch, so that could be another thing that could help with the networking groups you're part of. If you're just getting started, we take you through it step-by-step from scratch. If you're not sure what to say when you're standing in front of a room that will get people to run up to you and give you leads, then this module is for you. You're not going to make results until you know how to do it. So that training is live in March. The second March training is also about the elevator pitch, namely strengthen your call to action. Your elevator pitch isn't just to look pretty. It's to get results. It's to get people to do something, to get them to hand you their contact information or request a meeting or request a white paper. This is all about how you end your elevator pitch. I would say that about 99% of the elevator pitches I hear do not have a clear call to action. They don't have it. So if you're already using one, you're already way ahead of people. If you're already using one, we'll show you how to make it even stronger. If you don't have a call to action yet, by the end of this training module, you will, and you'll be amazed what it does to get you better results. So module number 2 is all about the vital networking follow-up process. So many people fail and make a lot of mistakes thinking they can just show up to an event and get results. I'll show you how to figure out whether you're prospecting or networking. Prospecting is fine, just not at networking events. In fact, that's what causes people to shove their business card into your hand and gets you into a lot of awkward conversations. People are confused. Networking events are for networking. That's the thing I talked about. Networking is for finding people you like talking to and setting up one-on-one. It's not for pitching. And we'll show you the difference in how to figure out who's wasting your time and who's a really good connection for you. So module number 3 looks in depth at one-on-ones. These videos are powerful. If you haven't heard of one-on-ones, then you're getting maybe 10% of the value out of your business networking effort. In fact, if someone's considering quitting a network, we're going to make them try this first. I show them exactly what to say, exactly how to set up the one-on-one, exactly what to say, exactly the kind of conversations to have, and then we talk about it later on so they can spot the opportunities they may have missed while they were having these great conversations. And when you use the process we describe in Found Ya, you find so much hidden value in the other people that are already in the group. You wouldn't be able to get them to quit the group under any circumstances. We show you how to become more visible in your network, how to inspire the right people to find you. So if you're doing the math on the page, you'll see that this webinar already happened. That's okay. This program is actually part of my larger Trusted Advisor community program. And so that program's already in the library. You don't need to wait. You can listen to it as soon as you invest and get signed up with the program. Then later this month, we're going to be looking at push and pull. And push is, well, pushy and awkward and annoying. Yes, that's how many people approach networking, and that is the start to networking. And initially in networking, you have to go out and find things. You have to go out and find people and talk to them and get that stuff happening. Pull is attracting the right people to you at the right time for them. That's what the Trusted Advisors do. Fortunately, it's a great way to set up your business network with the pull. So people don't feel like you're being pushy. You don't feel like you're being pushy. You know, those introverts who are on the line. You know, you hate walking up to people and starting a conversation. And the good news is you only have to do that for a little while. But then you start to get to know people better. You start to make some more friends. Then they start bringing you the right kinds of leads. You don't have to do so much of that small talk anymore. That's what we're really looking at. So pull is attracting the right people, and we'll show you how. Module 4 is a really advanced technique. It's called opportunity spotting. And the last program in April, we will talk about that. We'll recognize the goal of networking is sales. right? Everyone on this call, you're not networking to make friends. I hear people all the time, they come out of a networking, but I made a lot of friends. You're not there to make friends, right? Absolutely not there to make friends. You're there to make sales. But the sales don't happen that way, right? What people aren't there to be sold to. People are there to get to know people. And the stronger you understand that and the more you take advantage of that, the better. So we're going to talk in this section about how to reconcile developing relationships when what you really want to do is close more sales. So I'll say it again. What we're going to be doing is talk about how you develop relationships when what you're really itching for is more sales. We'll talk about that in the Networking and Sales program at the end of April. And then module number 5 ties it all together with referrals. I'm so excited about this February program, these February programs, because it's all about gatekeepers. I get so many questions from people about how to deal with gatekeepers. And if you're dealing with gatekeepers, then you aren't networking effectively. Again, I'll say that again. If you're dealing with gatekeepers, that you aren't networking effectively, because the whole point of networking is to get to know the decision makers. Like, that's right. People will talk about developing relationships with the gatekeepers, which is why the first program in February I call Flowers, Chocolates, and Champagne, just in time for Valentine's Day. But that's not about getting to know the gatekeeper, because the only reason you're getting to know the gatekeeper is to get to the decision maker. It's disingenuous, right? You're not really trying to get to know them. You just want to get to the decision maker. It's a huge waste of time. Huge waste of time, because you have to work on this relationship just to get to the person that you want to actually develop the relationship with. So when you have a business network, you get an introduction, and again, I show you how to do all this. You get an introduction to the decision maker. Working with the gatekeepers are people who don't have connections. So in February, we start by showing you 3 techniques you can use to absolutely bypass the gatekeepers. Gatekeepers bring me coffee occasionally now. When I show up for an appointment, the gatekeeper will bring me coffee and show me into the room. But I never talk to gatekeepers anymore and try to get to the decision maker. If I want to get to the decision maker, go into LinkedIn, I check my contacts, find out someone in my network who can introduce me, and I get introduced. I do not go through gatekeepers ever. Then later that month, we take a look at gatekeepers kind of from the other side, slightly different angle. So those are the 8 webinars. Now, just quickly, I want to make sure you understand the full value here, because each month, the first webinar is what I call, it's my exclusive 3 ideas in 37 minutes program. So I give you 3 ideas on topics that you can use immediately to get better results from your business networking, even if you're an introvert, especially if you're an introvert. Remember my client Liz. So, and again, I'll stay on the line. If people have questions, type in through the chat box. I'll stay on the line as long as you want. But the content I'm giving you is just for 37 minutes. It's all the content, none of the fluff. I just really hit it. And I mean, the folks who are part of this program love this. They love getting these practical ideas they can just go out and use. Ideas work. They're ideas that I have tested myself and tested with my clients. So in the webinars, the first program each month is a webinar. I give you 3 ideas in 37 minutes. Again, full open chat box. The second program each month is what I call office hours. And that's a little bit more of a roundtable. I share one idea about the thing we're talking about. And then I open up the phone lines for your questions. It's like a group coaching roundtable. I do some accountability stuff. People said they were going to go to networking events. Okay, you went, and what happened? We have some great conversations. The group is a group of people who want to get better at business networking. These are the people, and so what I'm having you do is join that conversation. So people who want to talk about this, enjoy talking about this, and getting better at it, and understanding exactly how to do this. The office hours is really key. Now, what if you can't make one of the programs? Well, that is why you get full access to our webinar recordings library. You get full unlimited access to every webinar in this program. Now, all the modules are included here. Everything I talked about today. After I do them live, in a day or 2, you can have full access to them in the section. Plus, there's private discussion boards. I monitor those boards. If you have questions, type them in. I'll always get back to you. You got to work with this material, but business networking is a living, breathing thing. You got to listen to it, think about it, put it into practice. And a lot of you might say, well, what if I have other questions? And you're in serious luck, because not only are there private discussion boards in the members-only area, which, again, I monitor and respond to, but as a further thanks for being on the call today, I'm doing something I've never done before, and I'm not even sure it's a good idea. I'm offering a full 4-month membership to my Trusted Advisor Community webinar recordings library. All these recordings plus more are there. So pretty much any question you have about business networking, you get 3 ideas in 37 minutes on all these aspects. Programs like Maximize Your Chamber Membership. Anyone out there looking to join a chamber? Get great leads from bad events. If you've been to a couple of what you think are bad events, this will show you where the opportunity is. How to follow up without being annoying. Right? We talked a little bit about that on the webinar. This goes into the more advanced techniques. Networking on a tight budget. Right, that's great for everyone. I mean, and no one has much time to network, and so that's again what we work about. How do you network in this limited time you have? So there's over 30 there's over 30 bonus programs instantly available to you when you join. So if you're part of any sort of networking group, then this feature alone is worth several times your investment in the program. And one more thing, you're probably excited to get working on your elevator pitch now. I know some people have been typing stuff into the chat box, and that's great. Like, the elevator pitch is key. And the March program will be here before you know it, but I want to make sure you hit the ground running in 2016. So I will ship you a copy of my book, the Elevator Pitch Handbook. Now, anyone who's on internationally, I don't usually offer international shipping. This is different. When you sign up for this program, be sure to give me your mailing address, and I'll send you a book no matter where you are in the world. So again, when you sign up, you get a copy of my book. Then you also get a free ticket to my Be Clear and Concise program on January 28th. It's a really cool webinar. I just open up, I just sit on the line for an hour, and people log in, and I help them. You know, Jill put in some about her elevator pitch. And I can't do the coaching with you right now, Jill. I apologize for that. But people who sign up, they'll get instant access to that. And again, you just log in anytime during the hour. And I work with you on your pitch, and it's really a fun thing. People are really amazed that it only takes 10 minutes. And so I do a bunch of people, I have a bunch of people log on, a bunch of people come. But it's a $29 value. I give you a free ticket for that. And then just to make sure you're getting absolutely as much as you can out of your business networking, I'm also offering a 60-minute phone or Skype coaching call with me. You said anytime you want over the next 6 months, we can talk about your networking groups, your strategies for introverts, or you can work on a presentation together, whatever you want. Those 60 minutes are really yours to use the way it would help you the most. And again, if you've got something you want to talk about now, we can set it up right now. If you've got something you want to talk about in a couple of months, talk about it in a couple of months. A lot of people, take this and they go through the programs, they study this stuff in the library, and then they come up with a bunch of questions and then call me and we kind of work through it all at once. So, is there a money-back guarantee for this? Yes. I mean, I don't believe in refunds for stuff that I buy myself, because I find that if I apply myself, I easily make back my investment. It helps me take action. What I do have is a 60-day money-back guarantee. 100% of your money back within 60 days. You can do these 3 things. You come to the trainings or listen to them. Prove to me you've done the training. Show me your notes. Send me results from 3 networking events, just 3 events over the next 2 months. I mean, you could do that this week. And you show me how you followed up. If you send me your notes from the program, prove that you attended at least 3 events, and show your follow-up results. If you still want your money back, you got to complete me back. If you don't complete those things, there's no money back. So you got to complete. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. I've never had one refund in this product, not one. Because when people take action, if you're committed to it and you take action, you're going to get results. I can't say you're going to get the same results as me. I can't say you're going to make any type of money. I can't make any of those kinds of claims. I can just show you what I've done and what plenty of other people have done through the system, and it's up to you to get the results. But if you show me you completed the trainings and attended 3 events and did your follow-ups, you get a full refund, no questions asked. But you got to do those 3 things. I think that's fair. So here's what you get. The recap. There's 8 live webinars, $750 value right there just for those 4 trainings. People love these programs. It changes the way they approach their networking. It turns introverts into people who look forward to networking events. Like that's really been the fun part for me. I'm an introvert. People don't believe that about me, but I am actually an introvert. I had to learn this stuff all myself, and I love showing introverts how you make really deep connections. Business networking seems like it's about just the fluff, but it's not. It's about making deep connections, and I show you how to do that. Then there's the recordings. You get full access. I mean, even if you can make it live, I encourage you to listen again to the recording. There's a lot of information in each of those recordings, a lot of techniques, a lot of things you can use. Networking isn't the kind of thing you can learn in an instant. That's why I spread this training out over a few months. You have to work with it, try it, ask questions, tune it. That's how you really start getting results. Then there's a call with me, a 60-minute coaching call, $275 value. With this, it's like you're making money when you invest in yourself through this system. We can talk about your elevator pitch or work on a networking strategy or figure out which networking groups are most productive for you, whatever makes the most sense for you. Remember that you also get a full 4 months membership in the Trusted Advisor Community Webinar Recordings Library. That's $400 right there. Then you add in the Elevator Pitch Handbook and 10 minutes to a 7-word elevator pitch. That's a lot of value right there. Very cool. So I'm putting this value as just about $1,500. Although I mean it's way more than that. I charge $275 for an hour, and you get 8 hours of webinars plus a 60-minute live call plus the whole plus the 30 webinar libraries. And so if you want this advice really by the hour, it's way more than $1,500. So you can see the value of this training. Today's price is only $500. Well, so the price is originally $500. I mean, if you're signing up for it. But since you're my most loyal followers and you're incredible action takers, and you're committed to growth in your mindset, and you've got such great value and see the value in investing in information and advice to get results, I'm going to set the price at $297. So again, incredible value for your investment, what you're getting, and for those who take action to get some amazing results. I already know it. And if you're not happy, you've got the 60-day money-back guarantee if you do the homework and show me that you network. So here's what I want to do right now. We're going to go get into the Q&A in just a second, but I want you to go to improvandy.com/network. So go ahead to improvandy.com/network. Just pull up a browser, improvandy.com/network. Go over there right now, and you're going to see my program there, the Stop Selling, Start Networking. Just go ahead. There's a Buy Now button. Just go ahead and click there on the Buy Now button. And now, I got to tell you, I mean, I know you're a real person. I've been working with you now for a little over an hour, and I know you're a real person. I tried to convince my credit card processor that I really only work with real people, but they are all about security. So just go ahead and prove. You just have to go and prove that you're a real person. No, don't type the thing on the screen when you're in your browser. It'll show you. Type the letters that are in your browser. Use the code. Use the code on your screen, not the one on this slide. So enter the code, and then you click Continue. Continue, and here's the really fun part. Once you get signed up, you get your own personal account. You get full access to a members-only area. And it keeps track of where you are. It gives you access to the private discussion boards. It shows where you're in the training. If you want accountability, it can do that too. So once you get signed up, I'll send you all the login credentials. I'll point you to the place and show, get your membership account set up. I'll start working on that the instant I'm done with the webinar. I'll have everything done today. It might take till this afternoon, depending on how many people sign up. But by the end of the day, you'll have full access to that full recordings library, including Found You and all that stuff that's in the archive. So then you click Continue, and you know what to do on this page. You pull out your credit card, put in the numbers. Then remember, I'll say that fill in all your credentials there, and then down at the bottom of this, there's the shipping information. Make sure that's correct. I'll send you out. Again, depending on how things go, I'll try to get everything out today, but definitely today or tomorrow, I will get your book out to you. So then you click Pay Right Now, Take Action. I want to get you this information. I want you to get the bonuses and the 60 minutes of coaching and the membership and the trusted advisor community. So improvandy.com/network. So you're going to go there right now. We're going to do this over the next 15 minutes or so. We're going to do a Q&A and keep talking about it. You're getting all this information. You're getting the 8 live webinars and the office hours, the 3 ideas in the 37 minutes, and all the live Q&A, the group coaching and the private discussion boards, plus the 60 minutes of coaching with me, the trusted advisor community, my book, and my 10-minute webinar. Getting everything you need on how to get better results from your current networking efforts, whether you're networking a lot or a little, whether you've been selling for years or just started. I'll show you how to do it step by step. I got some great questions. Some of you sent questions before the webinar. I got questions starting to come in now, so I'll just start going through those. And if you think of any other questions you want answered, just go ahead and type those into the chat box. So got a great question. It's kind of a basic question, but I like those. I mean, it's good to ask those kind of straightforward questions. So what is a trusted advisor? So in my world, if you talk to financial people, think that they're all trusted advisors. They consider themselves a trusted advisor. And to me, some financial people are trusted advisors and some aren't. The real hallmark of a trusted advisor is that you know other people you can call. You got other people that you can trust. Nothing's worse than getting referred to someone who won't return your call. So the trick to becoming a trusted advisor is learning how to trust other people, right? As I said before, you do one-on-one, some people won't respond to you. And that's part of the process of developing this. You're figuring out who it is that you can trust. You're figuring out who you know will respond to you in a way that gets done. And it's really nice. I mean, when I had one of my clients was having some website trouble a couple of weeks ago. And so I called a computer guy I know locally, and he couldn't help me. But he tried one of his guys, and that guy couldn't help me, and then he referred me to someone else who could help me, right? And that's kind of the fun thing, that no matter what question someone asks me, I have somewhere to start, right? That's the key to this. I have somewhere to start, somebody I know and trust that they'll either pick up the phone or return my call, and they'll come on right back. And again, we go through that. The trusted advisor thing, we go through that in this program. There's a lot of information about it. But again, the trusted advisor is someone who understands and has mastered these 5 skills, and is the kind of person who will return your calls and can refer you to trusted people. Right? I did this because I had some website stuff I needed to do, so I called someone that I know and trust, and she gave me someone she knows and trusts, and he did a beautiful job for me. Right? I mean, I signed up with him. It's unusual for me to only take one quote, but he was the right guy. I just went with him, and I love what he did. He made my website mobile ready. He fixed a lot of problems for me right off the bat. So that to me is kind of the hallmark of being a trusted advisor. And getting those emails that I talked about, that's really about that you're doing perfect referrals. Let's see so great questions coming in. I appreciate the program. It's great. I see some people signing up, so that's great. Feel free to join in. Got a great question from Jill. Thanks. I'm interested in getting business from particular industries, but are joining an industry-specific group and networking there. I'm concerned that I'll be seen only as a vendor. Jill, that is a great question, and again, something that we addressed kind of at length in the training. The short answer is I recommend networking with people that you know and like. Right? If you're talking about developing trust, talking about developing these sorts of things, then that's really what you want. You don't know who knows people in your industry, right? And so I think it is worth being part of those industry-specific groups, but you do have that problem that people figure you're just trying to sell to them. And if you met those same people through someone else that you know, that's when you really get the full value out of it. That's when the full value comes through. So there is a problem with being a vendor, and that's the thing. People are like, I have to find out where my prospects all hang out. But that's prospecting, right? I mean, that's not networking. And if you want to go prospecting, that's fine. Until I think that's kind of what you're talking about here. If you want to go prospect in an industry-specific group, that's fine. I think that's all worthwhile. And I recommend to people, don't stop selling while you're networking, right? Networking takes a little while to build up. So industry groups are good for kind of prospecting, getting to know other people, and it can be good for finding relationships. But you're still, even in those cases, you're looking for people you can talk to. You may not necessarily be looking to sell to them. You just want to get to know them better. And as you get to know them better and trust them, you can help them with things. They can help you with things. That's how this all works. So great question. Got another question coming in. Fitting my business with the right kinds of clients. That's a great question, and one that I get a lot with people. You're kind of attracting the wrong clients. And what I want to say is, look, your elevator pitch is attracting people, right? What you're saying is bringing people to you. Like anything you say will attract people to you. And so if they're the wrong people, then go ahead and shoot me an email right now. Get signed up for the program. We can fix it. You get the book and you get the webinar. Fix your elevator pitch. So it's coming up. Fix your elevator pitch so that it's doing exactly the thing that you want. That's really the key thing. That's really the key thing that we're looking for. Okay, Luke asked a great question. Again, congrats to everyone who's signing up right now. I'm seeing a number of people coming through, and that's great. I'll get to you in a second. Luke said, you've shown us the big wins. What are the pitfalls to avoid? For example, how do you know you're at the right kind of networking events? So here's my answer. I'd flip that around and say you have to start with where you are. You have to start with promoting yourself, getting a stronger elevator pitch, sit down for one-on-ones, see what kind of results you can create with the people you already know. Because starting from scratch, well, that's a big mistake. I mean, the thing to do is start interacting with people you know and groups you're already part of. And again, I mean, the people who come to my programs, they're like, wow, I didn't realize that I knew that many people. Like, and yes, you know more people than you think you do. Even if you don't think you have much of a network, there are people that you know. There are people that you can get to know better, and that is really the key. That is really the key. Okay, let's questions. People, sounds like a great program. Good, thanks everyone. So how do I know when my elevator pitch is right? Says Sarah. Well, again, in March or right away in the Trusted Advisor Community Library, there are plenty of videos on getting your elevator pitch just right. And the thing I'll say is that your elevator pitch is right when it's getting you the kinds of leads that you want. I mean, when I go to a networking event now, and especially when I speak at networking events, I expect to get 2 to 3 other speaking gigs out of that, and I usually get 2 to 3 legitimate prospects out of it. And so I have this. So that's kind of what I know. That's kind of how that's how it goes. So Joe, welcome to the program. Glad to see you signed up. Thank you. So there's a lot to so working on your pitch is the key. That is the key. So Maria, I see you have your hand raised. I can't really call you. Everything's muted. But if you can type into the chat box, if you're at a chat box and you can type into the chat box, I'm happy to take your question. So again, Maria's got a question. Happy to address that. If you can type into the chat box somehow, that'd be great. I'd be happy to take a look at that. So again, the elevator pitch and the networking, right? I mean, people who come and work with me, they're not happy with something, right? I mean, if you're networking and you got more work than you can deal with, then you're probably not gonna sign up with me, right? I mean, the person's not going to sign up with me. You're too busy dealing with clients to be doing any networking, and that's great. I mean, congratulations. But for those of you who feel like you should be networking more, but you're not sure how to do that, again, I mean, we're not looking to network more. We're looking to network more effectively, and a lot of people, once they start these programs, they actually start networking less. You can get much better results from fewer events, and that's and that's really the exciting thing for me. That's the exciting part about all of this. So again, great questions. So anyone else who wants to throw questions in, that would be taking all those right now. So good. So I'll give a couple more seconds of questions, and we're gonna pick the person who's going to get the who's going to get the phone call. And again, congrats to those folks for signing up. I see that Sarah just signed up. That's great. Welcome to the program. Very exciting. Very exciting, and yeah, everyone who signed up, be looking this afternoon. I'll be giving you, you'll be getting your access to the thing, and you'll get on the email list. You get all the programs. So that's it's really exciting. Really excited to welcome you to the program. I know we're gonna have a great time with all of this. So welcome. Great. Okay, so questions seem to be slowing down. So let's see. Let me just take a minute here and figure out so the folks. You know what? It's really just hard for me to pick just one person. So I would say, I mean, those of you who signed up, I appreciate that. I'm not going to pick you because you're going to get tons of time with me. Like you have access to me now, kind of whenever you want. So don't feel that. So the folks that win. So Vincent and Kathy, you are the winners of the free coaching call. So just go ahead and reach out to me. Just shoot me an email, and we can get something set up. I'll be happy to get on the phone with you, talk for 30 minutes about where you are with your networking and what's going on. So again, thank everyone for being on the call and taking notes. It's a great fun working with you. And again, those of you who signed up, I look forward to working with you more. Appreciate the comments. Hope you enjoyed this. Got a lot of information out of it. Thanks for spending the morning with me. I go off and use some of the stuff to get networking. So again, that's it. Thanks. I appreciate your time and energy for being here. Thanks for being active and engaging, connecting, and commenting with me. Means a lot. And thanks for your time. And if I can support you, just feel free to hit me up, and we can go from there. I just got a question: is the program recorded? I've gotten a lot of requests for that, so I probably will make a recording available. Check the email over the next couple of days. I'll send a link out for those who want to take a look at the program again. So thanks for the question. I hadn't planned to, but I think I probably will make a recording available. I got a lot of questions, so just look through your email the next couple of days for the recording. Okay. Happy networking, everyone. I wish you great success in your business, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks again. Bye.